Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on Forging Life. My name is Trey Ryder. I am a strategic intervention coach, and what I do is I help groups and individuals break through their own barriers to have a more fulfilling and successful life. So if you have not caught the previous episodes on here, we are going through the 6 human needs, and the last human need that we're speaking about today is contribution. So I will end up doing a recap at the very end of this over everything in general. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. So as I said in the previous episode, one of my biggest human needs was growth. So I touched on that last week, and my other huge, which they actually tied, human need was contribution. And what contribution is it's almost self-explanatory. It's continually contributing to others, which gives you a sense of fulfillment. And as you contribute to others, you can also get lost in giving back to yourself. So as you feel pleasure in helping people, you consistently do that on a daily basis, you can end up getting drowned out and once again forgetting about yourself. Going back to the growth aspect, like last week when we were talking about growth, I'm continually learning, not just for myself but for others, and the one downfall is you're continually pushing to better yourself, but you tend to also forget about giving that knowledge, that growth that you've learned to others. So that's part of the reason why I sit here and I do this YouTube channel, is to try and give some of my information that I've learned over the years to pour it out and hopefully have somebody else learn from this. So going back into the contribution, as you contribute, obviously you do feel better different ways, almost self-explanatory, whether it's just an individual and you see somebody that is in need of a hand, you stop and go over there and do that, pick something up for them, or groups, maybe it's through church or religions. You're just constantly helping to better the people around you. So much like you or myself, we would not be here if somebody did not contribute to our lives. So everybody in some form, fashion, does end up doing some kind of contribution to bring something, knowledge, whatever it might be. And most people, when you score the highest in contribution, you don't feel fulfilled unless you're continually contributing to others as well. So if you're just contributing to yourself, 9 times out of 10, you're not feeling fulfilled. So when we talked about the first 4 human needs, that is your main needs. Everybody needs them. Quickly going through the certainty, uncertainty, love and connection, and significance. Every single person has those 4. But the secret sauce, the main thing in life, the spiritual aspect, doesn't have to be religion. We're just talking about the personal spiritual aspect. Unless you hit these last 2, the growth and the contribution, that is where you do get the sense of fulfillment in life, because you constantly are trying to help others. So going in order, and this is a huge recap of everything at this point. So we did talk about the certainty, and what that is you are sitting there, your main needs, food, shelter, clothing, it's a huge priority in your lifestyle. So like I've previously said in other videos, you go to work, whatever else it might be, because you're certain that you will have that outcome. The downfall is you don't know what's going to happen in life. Something always happens, and it could throw certain aspects off. So maybe it's a catastrophe, and next thing you know, you don't know about the money, or maybe you get injured and next thing you know, you can't pay for bills, and it throws a big uncertainty into what you had planned. So the goal for individuals that feel that they consistently have certainty or the need for certainty, the one thing you need to focus on is that you cannot control every aspect of life. So therefore, you have to make sure you release some of that energy going into uncertainty or variety. So you will catch all these type of people. They're the fun, motivational, like just can't sit still. 9 times out of 10, if they're not moving around or doing something, they're bored. So every one of us knows, like, whether you're in a group, friends, whatever else, family members, everybody knows who that one person is. So they bring the energy, but the one thing that people with uncertainty need to focus on is a little bit of certainty. So they need to be able to sit back or contribute and help out the certainty aspect. They need a little bit more structure in their life to move forward for where they're going to be. Going to the next one, we're talking about the significance. And these individuals, for significance, they look for the awards, the feeling important in some way. Maybe they're dressing a certain way or acting a certain way just to be able to get that self-notice. You will see a lot of the people that score the highest on significance, they actually can tend to be very good leaders because they're continuing to push to better themselves, to learn that next step and get out there. So the one downfall about significance is it can be used in different ways. If something is not going their way, they can get significance by feeling angry, throwing tantrums, because what happens when somebody's completely upset, or maybe like a little baby, throwing themselves on the floor and crying, and everybody stops and looks at them. They get noticed, which is a feeling of significance to them. So 9 times out of 10, when they're not feeling important or significant, noticed, they do something out of spite to at least have that feeling that you are now paying attention to them. Going in from significance into connection and love, everybody, doesn't matter who you are, you have some kind of connection or love. And it doesn't have to just be a connection to a person. It can be connection to objects, animals, ideas, values, as well as the love aspect. When you have the connection and love, or love and connection, obviously you want to continually feeling loved. But where people get lost is they continually do things for others out of love and connection, but what gets them so spun out is when that love and connection is not returned back to them. So if you're consistently doing something for others and they don't pay attention to it, they just start expecting it, then that person can start spiraling downwards, which the one downfall is the depressive state. So they continually try to do something, it's not noticed, or it's not heard, or feels like it's loved. They get in that depressive state where they start blocking themselves off, and once again they start losing that connection. They look for the connection in their actions of depression. So they know if they get depressed, they will have that connection with themselves. It's a a bad route, obviously, but that's how they tend to deal with it. Going into the next one, and like I said, that was the first 4 needs. Once again, that is what makes us who we are. Going into the last 2, the growth, I kind of hit on it before. I'm always trying to better myself lately. The one downfall about my growth is I continually push to learn, and my contribution, which I will hit back on, but I get lost sometimes in doing all of this and the contribution side, that it takes a lot of energy out of people and they can start slowing down. So, which is the biggest battle I have. So I always have to find, between my growth and contribution to others, I always have to have something strategically mapped out for my time. My growth is typically in the mornings before I go to work. So I map out certain time frames for me. Then once I go into work, obviously I'm helping out wherever I can. And then when I get back home, it's still, helping my wife, whether it's with the kids or dinner, playing with the kids, getting them ready for bed, and then finally having a minute to be able to sit down with her. So if I am not mapping things out properly, I will continually start shutting people out. And it is a huge downfall of mine, which I feel like I'm getting so much better at. Maybe she'll have to let you guys know or something. So the growth, people typically are not spiritually satisfied with their capacities, I guess, unless they're expanding. So I have felt that way. One of the downfalls for me is when I stopped growing, I stopped trying to chase knowledge for myself. I got into that victim mentality mindset where it was everybody else's fault. It's not my fault. I pretty much started just shutting a lot of stuff out. So until about, I guess it's maybe a year and a half ago now, is when I really started this whole journey to better myself, to better others, and bring all this knowledge that I've continually had over all these years. And that is why I'm doing this. The contribution aspect, my life coaching, strategic coaching, is I have so much knowledge that most people probably will not have throughout their lifetime. And if I'm not contributing that knowledge, it is pointless to have. So, the contribution, I am going to continually give back. My plan is to try and get these videos to you guys once a week. Some kind of topic for you guys to grow off of as well. That's just my part to be able to contribute. Why do you care about these 6 human needs? Like I said, it's part of what I do as a coach is I look at not just these, but there's a whole slew of different things that play a factor into it. But it's a big factor in how I can approach different people to make sure we can have the best line for success. You will hear about, I like to call them different, like boats. You'll have different boats within the human needs that you will attach yourself to or feelings to within these 6 human needs that will go different ways, but it's still within them. I know that's kind of misleading for you guys. Just trying to give you a little bit more glimpse into what I do and why I do it. I look forward to bringing more knowledge to you guys next week. If you have some kind of input, I would love to hear it. You can always go over to my Facebook page, Trey Ryder Coaching. You can, obviously, my YouTube page, Instagram, I'm pretty much everywhere. So all you gotta do is head over, show some support, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys would like me to talk about. I try not to take up too much time because I know that I can end up going too in depth and lose some people within the information. So I try to hold myself back in regards to that. So I look forward to speaking with you guys again soon. And remember to consistently give back, show support, love, and hit the subscribe, like button. And once again, don't forget to continue forging your life. Talk to you again soon.